Hi there, just adding this little bit in quickly before the video proper starts. I recorded this before the console announced trailer was shown off at State of Play. So I just wanted to quickly say that I thought the trailer was pretty cool. Adam Warlock and Venom look really cool. I was really shocked when Adam Warlock was added for some reason, despite the fact that he showed up in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so it makes sense that he would show up. Yeah, like it's looking good. I also want to say that they've changed Spider-Man's outfit slightly, which I appreciate because you're gonna hear in the video proper. I did have issues with how his costume looks, and it looks like they're trying to streamline it a bit. And yeah, thumbs up there. Uh, another thing before we get started though, I forgot to mention in the original recording what my thoughts were on the team up mechanic and the destructible environments. And honestly, the reason I forgot to talk about them is because they were interesting. I didn't think they were like massive game changers. Like they were neat, and I think that they're a cool mechanic in theory, but in practice they were just like, oh yeah, someone's doing that. That's cool, I suppose. I think in the coming months, as people start playing the beta, and then eventually when the game comes out, we'll start to see more interesting utilization of those things, and we'll really see how effective they can be. But right now, my thoughts were, yeah, they're interesting, but I have nothing else to say beyond that. But that's all I wanted to add on. Thanks for listening. Have fun with the rest of the video. Back at it once again. How you doing, everybody? Hope you're doing all right. And back here again, just to talk about something a little different. And I say a little different with massive quotation marks. So I was able to get access to the alpha for Marvel Rivals. Just sheer luck. I put in an application and they accepted it. Hey, and I played this game pretty much every day for the entire 10-day run this alpha had. I clocked in about 26 hours on this game, and my plan was to make a first impressions video after the game had completed its alpha, and then, post it up on Saturday. I'll be honest, I was kind of burnt out from the game after everything was said and done, so I decided to sit on it for a week and come back around and do it now. And, well, here we are. So, let's get this started, and hopefully this doesn't take too long. The past two videos I've done have nearly reached like half an hour. I don't think this is gonna reach half an hour, but who knows? I tend to ramble. But let's start things off with something I think is pretty important for games like this, and that's the connection. I didn't suffer from any major connection issues. Now, I have a standard PC. I got it like 2 years ago. Yeah, around like January of 2022. And I had no problems running this game whatsoever. I had stuff running in the background, I had streams, I had music, standard shit. And the game ran just fine no matter what. The only time I had issues was when I think I needed to update some stuff, and the game ended up crashing. But that was literally of the full 10 days, that happened to me precisely once. And there was no outside of that. I had no lag, no stuttering, nothing. The game ran perfectly smoothly. So good ops for that. That we have a stable connection right now. Hopefully, we're able to keep that in the coming updates, because I know there is a beta that's going to come out as well in the future, a closed beta. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, right now that's looking solid. As far as the visuals are concerned, I wasn't really sure what to think about it at first. I think in terms of sheer graphics, like in terms of textures, the game's visual style reminds me a lot of Arcane. It's got there's this sort of like almost painted feel, like oil painted feel to how the textures and overall art direction looks. And I quite like that. I don't have a problem with it. It's just it's the only thing I can compare it to. I think by, you know, graphically, I like it. Design-wise, a bit more mixed. I think for the most part, everybody's fine, but there's some odd design decisions, or not odd, but it's just like some designs really work well. Luna Snow looks really good. Doctor Strange, he looks good. Groot looks good. Mantis, Magic, Penny, they all look good. But then there are other characters who I don't think are bad, but they look kind of odd. Like, I don't know, Hulk and Rocket look a little odd to me. I think it's just the hair. I'm not used to them having that waved up hair. Hulk in particular, something about Hulk's design reminds me of, not of Bruce Banner, but of Amadeus Cho, if you get what I'm saying. Iron Man, it's fine. It's any other Iron Man armor, you know? But the big one, the big offender, and you should not be surprised by this at all, is Spider-Man. You know, if characters like Magic and Strange, you know, Magneto, Luna, if those are like, you know, sort of the best version of these sort of art style, I feel like Spider-Man's on the lower end. I don't want to call it necessarily bad, but it's busy, and there are design choices with that costume that just confuse me. Like the erasure of the belt line, the fact that the back spider is completely like black, or just like a dark blue, but then it just blends in to his back, and also because the belt line's now there, it's just a sea of blue on his backside. Like, it's not awful. I think there are stuff that's quite good about it. I like the big eyes, the version of the lenses. I like the huge spider logo on his chest. It's very sensational, very Ben Reilly. I enjoy that. But I think there are some stuff that's just like, it looks a little too busy for what it's worth. But I'm kind of complaining for nothing, because obviously there are alternate costumes, and I think most of the alternate costumes are really good. Scarlet Witch's alternate fucking bangs, so does Storm's, although Storm looked good in her default anyway. And as you can guess, I much prefer the Spider-Punk outfit that Spider-Man gets than his default. I do hope in the coming months, and eventually when this gets a full release, this game does get like classic outfits, because, you know, I'm a basic bitch like that. I just like classic versions of the characters. That's just me personally. But hey, as of right now, you know, the game's art style is good. I think sometimes it's just too busy. And graphically, it looks great. You know, all the lighting, texturing, blah, 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 blah. It looks good. As actually, the thing that was surprised me was the music. I quite enjoyed the music in this game. I wasn't expecting to. Not in the sense that I thought it was going to be bad, just because most of the time music doesn't play. But that menu theme is fucking bangs. Like that, the music that plays when you start the game up, it's like they went, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I like the 2099 stages music. I like the Asgard stages brief music. I think the 2099 music is better, by the way, for what it's worth, but neither are bad. None of the music is bad. So hey, A+. Now though, let's actually talk about the thing you want to hear me talk about. Like, yes, okay, it looks pretty. Oh, good, cosmetics. Oh, good, you know, music. But how does this game actually play? Well, have you ever played Overwatch? Have you ever played Valorant? Have you ever played, I don't know, Team Fortress 2? Is Team Fortress 2 part of this thing? Kinda is, in a way. Maybe I angered someone like that. I don't know. I don't really play these games very often. But yeah, ultimately, you know, this game is that sort of hero versus game, and it does it very well. You've got the three typical archetypes. You've got the tanks, you've got DPS, and you've got healers. And you have to build a team of 6v6 to fight the other team to complete various challenges. Now, there's only two different game modes here. Asgard has capture the flag and I guess stop the bomb type mission, where one team has to take something to the end goal and the other team has to stop them. 2099 sadly only has the stop the bomb style mission, which is a shame. I would have liked both maps to have both versions, but it is what it is. You know, I'm not going to complain too much. Again, alpha build. There's a lot that could probably change so far. Thankfully, though, despite being an alpha, this game is quite fun. You know, the mission types are pretty good. Everything is smooth. So let's break this down in terms of what characters I played as. And you can probably guess just based off of what the footage is. The character I played the most was Luna Snow. I really excelled in the healer role, I suppose. I would sometimes get a little too overzealous and just run straight in, despite the fact that I'm not a DPS. But yeah, Luna's kit, her ability to heal, her, her freezing stuff, it all just worked well for me. It was what I felt most comfortable in, and she moves pretty nicely. I like her ultimate, which is essentially just make a heal ring to heal everybody up. It's really good. It's just a really good ult no matter what, because you can use it in any scenario, I feel, and it just works really well. So yeah, Luna was my main pick for most of the game. I did play some Rocket, and Rocket was pretty good. I liked the rate of fire on his chain gun, but his healing was not as great as Luna's. Just the bouncing orbs became a bit more cumbersome to aim than anything else. Not bad, but I preferred what Luna could do better. As far as the other two, as far as the other two styles are concerned, because yes, you do want to, in a game like this where you can only pick one character per player, you do want to know how to play multiple characters. As far as the other types are concerned, I did, for DPS, I sort of stuck with Star-Lord. His rate of fire was pretty good, and I liked his dodge roll mechanic, but it's not my best. DPS characters like that are not really my bread and butter. Although, mind you, I only briefly spent time on characters like Punisher, who I personally wasn't great at and didn't care as playing for. So, maybe in the future, if I try someone like Scarlet Witch, things would be different. But I can only tell you about the characters I played as. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Ultimately, though, I did enjoy Star-Lord and his movements, but it wasn't my main stuff. The other character, though, that I excelled in was in Strategist, and that was Magneto. I was fully expecting myself to be more interested in playing Doctor Strange, but no, Magneto is the one I gravitated to the most. I played some of Hulk briefly, but Hulk is so slow, which is something I'll come up to in a second, but he was pretty slow and his range wasn't the best, but I liked Magneto had a better set of range, and he also I liked his shield options better. It's just more well-rounded. I felt more comfortable playing as him than everybody else. He was also, and I'm a bit proud of this, he was the only character I got MVP with the entire time I played the game, which, I don't know, I'm kind of just proud I got MVP at least once. Yeah, I'm just a little happy about that. Getting MVP is always a good feeling. So, those were my main picks, except for one other, and I have to really bring this up because I think it's pretty important. If you've never played games like this before, if this is just you starting out, you're just trying out this style of game now, I have to recommend something for you. Don't pick Spider-Man. Just don't. And I don't say that because he's bad. He's not bad, but okay. Every character is ranked in how difficult they are to use by stars. 1 star is easy, 2 or 3 stars is moderate, etc. Spider-Man is the only character in the game to have a max 5-star difficulty. He is the hardest character to play, and part of that is because of just how his kit is. You have to be very specific in how you move and how you utilize everything he's got. And if you know what you're doing, and as I've seen with some people, if you face a good Spider-Man player, they can fuck your shit up pretty fast. But if you're facing a bad Spider-Man player, they could be an active liability to their team. Like, I would say if you're gonna play Spider-Man, spend some time just doing practice rounds. And actually, that was a nice thing I forgot to mention, is that this game, that they did have just AI practice rounds that you could do just to get a feel for the characters. There was also a training mode that you could use. Like, there were two separate modes. There was a training mode and then an AI battle, where training, obviously, you could just run around and do what you want. AI was a mock battle where you could properly test the characters in a actual sort of match. So that was really useful. I actually really appreciate that. Hopefully that stays in. It should stay in. There's no reason for them to take that shit out. But yeah, Spider-Man is not an easy character to play as. Heavy amounts of practice, I think, is something you're gonna have to do before you really start getting good with him. But when you do get good, when you get good at any of these characters and you've got a good team that works with you, man, is this just a fun game to play. It can be so fast and kinetic and messy, but when you've got a well-oiled machine of a team together, it is so satisfying to just lock shit down and be as effective as possible. Oh, it is the best. Honestly, I had a pretty, messy first few days, but once I got into the groove of things, even when I was losing, because I did lose a fair amount, I think I had like a nearly 50-50 ratio win-loss, but I think I lost more than I won. And even then, it was like, man, I'm just having a good time. Like, it's not, I wish we could do better, but it's not like we're doing terrible. Sometimes we were only just barely losing. It was fun, right? Ultimately, I had a really good time just playing this game. But there is something of a complaint that I do have, just in a general aspect, and I'm not talking about character abilities or, certain setups. This has to do more with movement. Now, a lot of the characters feel kind of sluggish in their ground speed. And obviously, I'm not expecting everybody to move like Usain over here, but some characters felt a lot slower than I thought they were. Even though they were, some characters, even when they're meant to be tanks, felt very sluggish, more so than I thought they should have. Characters that I thought should have been fast felt even slower than they should. I feel like you could up the movement speed a little bit, just the ground speed, to be clear, and that could help improve things. But that might just be a me thing. Who knows? Maybe in the coming months, I'll 180 on that. I don't know yet. But I say coming months. This game is not. This game's now closed. Closed alpha is done. Now we do know that there is going to be a beta in the future. And so I'm going to be curious as to see what they change when I get a chance. And yeah, I do believe I'm going to get access to the beta, because I believe they said that if you reach like a rank level 10 or higher in the game, you get access to the beta. And I was like level 15 by the end, so I'll probably play a bit more of this game. I'll probably get access to the beta when it comes out. I don't know when that's going to be, but honestly, I'm not sure they're going to change a whole lot when the beta comes out. Like, right now, as the game is right now, this is pretty damn good. Like, this is very, very solid, and I think, right now, this is their release to lose, so to speak, right? Like, this is, like, right now, everything about this game, outside of, like, movement speed, truthfully, I don't really have major complaints about it. Obviously, part of that probably comes from the fact that I'm not someone who typically plays these games, so I don't necessarily have the best eye in regards to what certain things would be better for the game in the future, what certain things would be worse. But as it stands right now, I think Marvel Rivals is in a very, very, very good position, and I'm quite excited for when we get some new updates, when the beta comes out, and eventually when the game itself releases. I think I'm gonna try and rope some friends in to play this game with me, because I do quite enjoy it. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention was the seasonal like rewards. This is something that's I guess is new. You can tell I don't play games like this very often, like Fortnite and the like. But yeah, you know, you just complete various missions, you get points, and then you can unlock varying costumes. I think all the costumes were pretty good. I actually think all of them were kind of better than the defaults, except for Mantis. Mantis is like extra costume you unlock, and her default were fine. But like the Spider-Punk costume is better than Spider-Man's default. Steampunk Iron Man is better. You know, Sakaar Hulk, World War Hulk is better than default Hulk in terms of outfits, and the Scarlet Witch outfit. Scarlet Witch outfit is just awesome, like that pure white with the red highlights. Oh, looks so nice. But yeah, you know, quite fun. Actually, and one more thing, actually, I almost forgot. I want to mention this. I have not talked about this game narratively yet, because what narrative? Like, there's not much to say, but to my surprise, this game does have a surprising amount of lore in it for what is just an alpha. So in each character's each character's sort of like roundup where you can look at each hero, they have like lore pages where you can read supplementary material telling you about, you know, the lore of this game. Right, you know, sort of giving background information, and they're quite interesting. You know, you get stuff like Spider-Man teaming up with Cloak and Dagger to fight vampires in New York, and Magneto meeting the Scarlet Witch from an alternate universe, you know, after his Scarlet Witch has died. It's quite it's quite cool, and it also gives the potential for maybe like sneak previews for future heroes showing up. You know, because like I said, Cloak and Dagger shows up in Spider-Man's lore thing, but in Magneto's, they mention Wolverine. Like, Wolverine is in there, and he has lines, and they talk. So maybe he's coming in the future, maybe not. Maybe this is just a nice little appearance. Who knows? Some of the other stuff in the game also implies that Thor is going to be coming possibly coming in the future. I'd be curious for that. He'd probably be a tank-style character, so that's cool. I'd be curious to see how they try to differentiate him from Storm, but they'll find a way. They're different enough, you know? They have lightning powers. That doesn't mean they're exactly the same. But that is a question, like, what other characters would you want in this game? Personally, for me, I like me some Miles Morales. Miles would thrive, I think, in a game like this, especially given now that his electric powers have really become overpowered. Well, overpowered. They've become a lot more varied, like the sword and the like. I think you could do a lot of creative and fun things with Miles that you just can't do with Peter, personally. But that's just me spitballing off the top of my head. Ultimately, I had a lot of fun with Marvel Rivals. It's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. It's something I think you should be keeping an eye on for the future. But obviously, we're just going to have to wait and see for now. I am looking forward, though, to the next bit of information we got. And I have high hopes. Here's hoping we can keep this positive momentum going forward. But yeah, that's about it for now. Hopefully, this incredibly rambling, meandering video has given you a little bit of a better insight about this game, and has also been enjoyable for you. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Also, actually, wait, no, hold on, wait. By the way, this is something specifically for the devs. There's one other thing besides the speed. Can we please, like, can you guys make it so that they have more than one idle animation at the results screen? Like, I found that at the results screen, the characters just repeat their idle animations, which would be fine, except for the fact that Loki has a spoken one, and I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to constantly hear him say that he is the king of Asgard and that he's at our service every about 10 seconds. It's a lot more annoying than you might think, especially when, you get those long queue ups. Oh yeah, by the way, queue ups didn't take that long, thankfully, in this game. I didn't have... There were only, like, 2 or 3 times where the queue up took longer than, say, 30 seconds, so that's good. But yeah, just please, I don't want to have to hear Loki constantly talking to me. Please don't do that. But yeah, okay, for real now. I am quite excited for this game. I'm good. I hope you guys are excited for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know when I'm going to be making the next one or what it's going to be. I have some ideas for some videos. Hopefully you'll stay tuned for that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay? Later.